Welcome back to Tipping Point. I'm your host, Kara McKinney. Why is there no review of the alleged Russian hack of the Democrat National Committee in the newly released Durham report? That's the question legal experts are asking, including a group known as TechnoFog on Twitter, which notes the DNC hack is the holy grail of baseless claims that leftists are still holding on to. The DNC hack narrative involved the same players who would go on to frame President Trump for collusion during the 2016 election, such as Hillary Clinton's campaign lawyer, Michael Sussman, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the Clinton campaign team, and the DNC. Democrats still tout this bogus claim, and it's the only stone really left unturned in the more than 300-page report released on Monday. So what gives? Is it possible former Attorney General Bill Barr is trying to hide something or to cover tracks or to, who knows, maybe to be controlled opposition? It sure looks that way sometimes because Barr conveniently put this hack, which Democrats still attribute to Russia, even when every single one of their other claims has so far proved to be bogus, outside the bounds of Durham's investigation. And Durham stayed within his limits regardless of whether those orders were fair or not. It was Barr who set the scope for this inquiry, not Durham, though we can't expect Durham would have reviewed the matter if he had authorization to do so. He's certainly not afraid to report on FBI wrongdoings. In fact, it was Durham, TechnoFog notes, who made one of the most important disclosures in the Bureau's history when he found that former FBI Director John Edgar Hoover framed 4 innocent men for murder back in the 1960s. The FBI waited decades until they confirmed as much, and once enough time had passed and those men's lives were destroyed, the agency admitted to allowing these men to be prosecuted and to being convicted wrongfully in order to cover for their informants. Remember that Barr's past is much different. He and his father from the CIA precursor, the OSS, have a history of covering for the intel community. It's also strange that it was Bill Barr's dad who helped Jeffrey Epstein to get his first job, the one he had no experience for at Dalton, which then launched him into the highest ranks for Wall Street. And that Epstein's mysterious end came under the tenure of Bill Barr. Well, joining us now to discuss the type of reform we need to the intel community is national security researcher John Rosamondo. John, thanks for being here tonight. So you have a new piece coming out of the Epic Times titled Reform the Intel Community, End Stasi Tactics. Can you talk to us about some of that?
Well, I'm just looking at some of the things that have come down. I mean, there's a gross violation of the Fourth Amendment, right to search and seizure protections. The First Amendment. We have to keep the intel community from spying on people at home. I mean, it's one thing to be undertaking influence operations against our enemies, China, Russia, Iran, not against Americans here at home. What we had was gross interference in the 2016 election and again in the 2020 election by members of our intel community.
And so with this recent release on Monday of Special Counsel former Special Counsel John Durham's investigation, his report, did some of those findings, did they perhaps push you to say now is the time to write this article?
Well, when I went and looked at the fact that the FBI under Pete Strzok, who blocked me on Twitter, went ahead and moved forward with the Crossfire Hurricane investigation, when you had Mr. Danchenko, who the FBI knew had ties with Russian intelligence as a subsource for Christopher Steele's dossier, and the fact that it was called for by Mr. Sussman of the Hillary campaign, and you have the intelligence report saying that the CIA had briefed the FBI that Hillary was trying to engage in political dirty tricks. Then you end up getting the FISA warrant against Carter Page and going after George Papadopoulos. I mean, this is crazy.
It is, and so that's the whole deal with 2016. They tried to pin it on President Trump, but the only one passing off possible or at least alleged Russian disinformation and lying to the government, the Clinton campaign, and everyone knew about it since the beginning. Like you said, Obama, the heads of the FBI, the rest, they were briefed on this, on what the Clinton campaign was cooking up. So they were no, sitting patsies going, oh, I can't believe they pulled the wool over our eyes. We trusted them so much with this intel. They knew it was dirty tricks from the beginning, and yet they had their own reasons for wanting to have active investigations into Trump. So it really is such a shame to see it all come out